Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I am your host, Tricia Carr. I hope this episode will be very special for you. This is the intention that I've set. Today I will be having this episode entirely on my own. There is no other guest except for, well, the entire universe and you. Now, how this came about is I did have a guest scheduled, and then it was a while ago, actually, over 2 weeks ago. The guest had to reschedule with ample notice. But as I saw that reschedule come in, I heard a nudge. I heard from, I guess what we would say, my guides, or I heard from the universe that it would be an episode for me to do solo. And the message that would be coming through would be one that we all co-create together. And I do so love these episodes that I do on my own. How's it going, Kurt? Everything good with the broadcast? Okay, great. I saw him getting up, and so I wanted to make sure everything was all right. Oh, thank you. And that's the ghost person who's not here. Again, it's a live broadcast, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to offer this live and then also publish it. And then it becomes timeless, doesn't it? And so I welcome you into this space, and I am welcoming in benevolent guides of light. I'm actually going to go ahead and open this as Kurt often hears me say, Kurt, my producer, hears me before the episode. I open the sacred space. This is also something that I do at the beginning of my sessions, my one-on-one sessions. And so I will bring you into this. We're going to have a one-on-one session, just you and me and us with spirit. And so I open a sacred space, offering myself to be a clear and open channel of light and of love, to welcome in more love on behalf of myself and for everyone involved, everyone listening, and everyone who would connect their energy to this experience in all time and space through all lines of energy, through all lines of love and light, the only cables, the only cords, the only connections that actually exist. And I open myself to receive as well. I open myself and I open this experience to be charged up with the will of God, the will of the One. And I welcome in Archangel Michael, who has offered a connection for this episode, for this experience that we are co-creating. And I welcome in Archangel Michael to guide this experience and to be the speaker of this as a connection to source energy, which is the connection of the all. Amen. And so it is. And so let us begin with the statement of God's will. I'm going to pause a moment. Thank you, Michael. And much of this, this is Tricia, and much of this will be going in and out of channel. This is what I have offered and have opened myself up to for this episode. And so you may hear me using the pronoun I, and that's me translating and being more in this vessel and more in the vessel of that first person. And then you may hear the pronoun switch to we, which is essentially me allowing my consciousness to be utilized by a more of a collective. And the representation of the collective vibration for this, at least this moment, is the light that we refer to as Archangel Michael, which is just a construct, just a name, just a benchmark, so that we may visit this energy again and again. And to continue, let us visit upon the expression of God's will. For many think that this expression, God's will, is something that is religious or something that is dogmatic or something that is asking you to place your sovereignty outside of yourself. And indeed, this is a reflection of what happened when you were coming up, when your mental body as a youth, as a child, as a fragile being in a fragile physical shell without a mental construct to be able to help you to sort through your pure, perfect consciousness, and the reflection of that of the world which was imperfect, that of your parents, that of the ones who would be your caretakers, when your parents said, good girls and boys go to school and they sit in air-conditioned rooms and they sit in boxes that are made of metal and they do not speak back, and they do it in a way that does not make me angry. This is what many equate with God's will, or perhaps they equate with God's will that with a person standing up on a pulpit, standing on a stage, elevating themselves and saying, I have more authority than you, and I am the one who can speak God's will. And the representation of this phrase, God's will, means not what you feel inside of you, Not what you feel inside of you, but that which you demonstrate with your actions in discordance with what you feel inside of you. This is the error in the idea of God's will. And so we are here to redeem the phrase God's will. And of course, you do not need to use these signposts, these words that the one that says God, which if that is for you uncomfortable at this time, then place there the words that you like universe and source energy, higher power, higher self, whatever these words are. For this broadcast, we feel that many will connect, and they will connect with the idea of redeeming the word God. And the word God is you, the God in you. And so God's will is the accordance, not the discordance, but the accordance of how you feel inside, your feeling state, the pure, perfect vibration that you send out as a frequency and is connected to the all. The all is God. And so to be a part of God's will, you must be a part of your own will, your pure, perfect will, which resides within you, no matter what is going on the outside. That which is going on the outside, whether they are words or the experiences or they are events, they are things which are already created. When something has already been created, it is now being uncreated. It is in the process of being dematerialized. Once it has been materialized, once something peaks, a flower peaks at the top of its bloom, it is now beginning its process to dematerialize. And this is a beautiful process as well, of course, as it gives back, it fertilizes the earth. And so the entire process is beautiful. But when you are in the process of creating, you want to look within where the pure potentiality is. And that is God's will. The accordance that you have that's within you, how it connects to the will of the all, the will of the one, that is God's will. What is will? Will is thought. Will is that which is emitting from the total vibration, the total feeling state, and it becomes more focused into something that is like a laser beam, something that becomes an impression upon the experience of the all, the impression on the field. And so God's will is your will, your thought aligned with the thought, the expression of all. And so it must be. And this is what your Yeshua, this is what your Jesus in the New Testament, as it is recorded, it says that ask and it shall be answered, knock and the door shall be opened. It isn't just for things that are frivolous or things that are misaligned when you don't feel it truly in the pureness of your soul and the pureness of your perfect God essence. It is when that God essence is felt and you ask from that in your alignment, it shall, because it is in accordance with the all. This is God's will. And this is how we begin this experience today. Aligning with God's will. Opening a channel for God's will. Looking at and experiencing, placing awareness upon the will inside of you who are listening. Your God's will. The will of you as it is pure and perfect and it connects to the all. That begins with desire. That begins with your vibration. The distinction between vibration and frequency, as your words would have it be defined. The frequency is that which comes from vibration. It's something a bit more defined. It is the thought. The thought is the request. The thought is the electric expression. The vibration is your garden. The vibration is the soil that you keep. It is that feeling state. It is how you feel all the time. And yes, that will then manifest into something that's more like a desire. It houses the desire. Desire is sometimes equated, we will redeem this word as well, because it is sometimes equated with things that are lustful, things that are, again, in discordance with what you actually want, in the truth of your want and desire, in the truth of your essence. And rather, it is a misstep. It is a counterbalance to how there has been injury. And so if there is lust, it is because it is trying to swing that pendulum back an opposite direction. But it isn't true healing, because true healing is coming into the center where the truth of your being is, the truth of your essence. And so vibration is something that is considered in this broadcast. Again, we would like to use the word garden, tending to your garden. This is the vibration, the feeling state, always being aware of it. And how do you tend to it? Well, it is a marriage. It is a relationship. You relate to your vibration. And so when you open your intuition, as you like to say, you open your intuition, or your intuition is moving so fluidly, and you see manifestations, evidences of your intuition, and that's all just alignment. And when you first open your intuition, or when you open it in a new way, or you have these awakening experiences, that is you suddenly coming into alignment, getting married to your vibration, and choosing your vibration or your feeling state over anything else. This is you choosing God. This is you choosing yourself. You as a representation of God, you as an expression of the universe. That is your life purpose. And so it is your life purpose to open your intuition as you all are looking for, as you all are seeking, but the seeking is within you. Opening your intuition is falling in love over and over again. And then once you fall in love, once you get married, then the relating really starts, right? That's when you start to activate faith and trust and grace and allowing yourself to grow, allowing your partner to grow, allowing your partner to make mistakes so that they can learn. And let us go now to the mistakes. Let us go to when we have a misstep, when we see you thinking, I am no longer aligned with my intuition. I do not feel my intuition. This is just a moment of learning when you feel the discordance, when you feel the discomfort. This is an offering. The discomfort is not being misaligned. The discomfort is not being in threat. Being out of survival is where it usually takes many of the humans. Feeling out of alignment is a feeling of being out of survival. But the truth is, when you feel the discordance, or when you feel the discomfort, when something is scary as you want to move forward to it, or something is unknown and it feels unsafe, the truth is you are being offered an invitation. You're being given an invitation to learn. Learning is beautiful. Learning is expansion. Expansion is something that requires a little bit of tension, doesn't it now? If you do the thing where you put the Mentos treat in the Diet Pepsi bottle and it explodes, that's expansion. And so sometimes you're that Diet Pepsi bottle and you're just learning as you expand. And the tension is a good thing. And so what do you do in the time that you feel the tension, when the learning is offered? Well, the first thing you do is what you would do with your partner, because you are a partner to your own vibration, to your own feeling state, is you give yourself grace and love and nurturing. And you tell yourself that it is okay to be in discomfort because you are just in a place of expanding. This is an opportunity to expand. And if something then shows up in your experience and it says, as you look at it and you say, I don't like that, that doesn't make me feel a state that I prefer, then allow that to be discomfort. That is actually learning. And then you can release it and allow it to be just information that turns you deeper into your feeling state, turns you deeper into this intimate relationship you have with your vibration, with your garden. And so with the metaphor of the garden, how do we keep a garden? How do we keep a garden? We do not intentionally let weeds grow, do we? We do not put poison in our garden. Sometimes things come in and they creep in and then we remove them lovingly. And we tend to it and we nurture it and we give it water and we give it food and we sing to it and we love it. This is how you treat your own feeling state, your vibration. Because from that feeling state, that garden, that vibration will grow a flower or a tree. As these things grow, these are your frequencies, and this is your offering, because that flower expresses its pollen and it says, this is what I have to offer. This is what I offer the universe, the ecosystem, the whole of the garden. And that is also a call that says, as I offer this, I am receiving back through that channel. I am receiving that. It is an offering of expression that is also a two-way street, and so you receive back from it. And so the next step is, as you are tending to your garden and you allow nothing in there, your feeling state, allow nothing in there intentionally that will be poison to it. When it shows up and you've let something creep in, all you do is lovingly, graciously remove it, tend to it, add more nutrients, add water. If you miss a day watering it because you were busy doing something else, it will survive, and sometimes not watering it, which would be equivalent to you having a little less self-care, burning the candle a little bit longer, give yourself grace, and then add the water. matter when the space shows up again in that perfect, pure potential of nowness. And so as you allow that garden to expand, sometimes the watering does allows it to reach for more nutrients from the rest of the ecosystem. And it's a beautiful thing. And that grace will come in and meet your garden as well. Tending to your garden then as diligently in your feeling space, allowing nothing to pollute it. Nothing is worth it, because if anything pollutes it, then you are not wholly in alignment with your own will, with God's will, with your vibration, with that essence of the all. This is the work. Indeed, it is not work, it is being. But as you think about work, this is all there is to do, is tend to your garden and allow your frequency to be expressed. And so as the flower, as your frequency, as your thought is offered, and that is an imprint upon the field, that is the welcoming, that is the knocking and the asking at the same time, then your next opportunity is for you to allow nature to reach you, allow the universe to reach you. And so we do bring in at this time an offering from the whole of the earth plane, which is also the whole of all of the stars that are created. This is the being state of your planet. These are the beings of nature and ultra nature of all of the planets, as it is all in a dance. And so we allow to step into this conversation that expression of nature spirits, of nature elementals, star elementals, the cosmic experiences. We stand dutifully by, wanting to reach you, and we do reach you. We always are here. It is only when you knock and then you close the door. We are here to cooperate with you because it is our joy to connect with your joy. It is our joy to allow your joy to manifest. This is the will of Source Energy, of Prime Creator. You allowing, after tending to your garden, which we also partner with you on, after tending to your vibration, we bring you inspiration into your feeling state. We show you dancing fairies and sparkling beautiful things, and we allow the entertainment and the joy and the laughter to be brought to you. It is only then when after you release your thought, if you shut the door, when you do not let us in. Allow nature to reach you. Allow your frequency to be met with the answer. And when you release it, if you feel discomfort afterward because there is growth happening, that is okay. That is not only okay, that is glorious. It is difficult for the sprout to grow itself through the soil. It is challenging, and the challenge makes you strong. And so we bid you an invitation to continue to feel the discomfort and moving forward in the things that feel uncomfortable because they are making you stronger. It is the gravity. It is the pull of the source energy, of the sun calling you forward. It is the connection of your soul energy with the soul of the sun calling you forward. And we are there to meet you, to hold you up, to bring you the nutrients, but you have to receive them. And so giving is receiving, and receiving is giving, and magnetism is electricity, and electricity is magnetism. And thought creates vibration, creates feeling state, and feeling state is the thing that you will know us by. You will know the universe. You will know nature. You will know your nature, and you will know your God essence by the feeling state. Momentum will take hold of that feeling state. And when it is positive momentum, you are still able to take a pause and give yourself grace. You'll never miss anything that is meant for you. And nothing that is meant for you will ever leave you. And so come into that timeless space, that timeless presence, the eternal now. The now place where you are nurturing your feeling state, nurturing your garden with grace, with faith, with alignment to God's will, which is deep within you. Sometimes it is a quiet, still, small voice, but it is there. And that is how you are answered with the things that you think are abundant, the things that you think are fun. These are your purpose. These are the calling. This is you connecting with your life purpose. This is you being in touch with your intuition, the feeling state. Let nothing pollute your feeling state. And should anything come into your feeling state that feels like pollution, then go deeper inward and love yourself into the reason that you allowed it. There is a reason, and that reason is for learning. That reason is always for learning. That reason is for expansion. And the Archangel Metatron comes through now to say that yes, many speak of times changing and important times, and many speak of called ones, those who are bringing the light and showing the way. This is true, but we also want to offer to you that it has always been that way. That it has always been a time to show the way and a time to bring the light. So if it is beneficial to you, if it is motivating to you to say the time is now, then we align with that and we say, yes, it is. It is always the time. It is always the now for you. And if you were the lone one in the desert of the many whatever years ago that makes some kind of impact upon your consciousness to say that that was the time that was not for the way showers and the light bringers, if you were the one in that desert, it would still be the time. And so we do welcome and we affirm the glory of the fact that there are many who are much more awakened to it. Your planet is coming into so much more alignment if you look at that linear time as you so love to do. And it is a beautiful experience to look at that linear time because it is a tapestry of creation. It is a glorious thing, but you can also look at the eternal nature of the now, and you can look forward at the tapestry and say, oh boy, look at what we are creating together. This is offered to you, this experience of what the timing is, and it being an age of light or an age of intuition. This is truth, and it is an exciting experience for you to come together with your hearts, feeling the light within you and joining it to others and allowing the momentum of love, of unconditional experience for the sake of creating, for the sake of expansion, to carry you and move you, to allow you to expedite the feeling of your frequency being emitted from that beautiful garden that you're always creating. And you are always ready. Always ready. You are always here and now, and that makes you ready. And so as the Archangel Metatron is associated with the calling forth the light bringers and the way showers, I call you forth now, you are called. But the I that I'm using is the one that is within you, the one that is the will of God, the will of the One. Feel that within you. This will be the empowerment that you have been looking for. If you are constantly placing your power without yourself, which is a grace that you are allowed, you get to say, God lives without me. You get to say there are teachers and there are beings of light, whether they are in the physical or the non-physical or the higher frequency or the inner frequencies. You are offered that experience of the second person. But the truth is, you will never be totally empowered until or unless or when you put that truth within you. When you identify the God essence within you, that is when you will have the full circle, the full completion. And yes, this feels like a paradox, and the paradox is that which creates positive and negative neutrons and electrons and all of the things that are of the physical matter show you this. The negativity or the dark, which then gives way to the light, which allows the pressure to be that tension, which is the learning, which expands, holding the paradox, being okay with the fact that once you create, it is now uncreating, and allowing that to be the fertilization for the new creation. This is the power that you hold. This is the power place. And it all starts with you recognizing God essence in you. One energy in you. It is a paradox. It is beautiful. And you have been dispatched from that one energy to be a reflection of this experience. And in gratitude, we thank you for being the journeyers. We thank you for taking on the identity, the illusion of being separate. And we ask you to also hold the connection of being one. And we welcome you into it. We say that that key is in you, in all time, in all space. And we thank you for this opportunity to connect. We are never apart from you. All of nature, all of the cosmic and higher frequencies, all of the light is within you. And we are there to help you to manifest that pure potentiality inside you. Because that is your intuition. That is your purpose. You seek nowhere for your purpose. It is within you. Get deeper inside. Go deeper inside. Go deeper inside. That is the beauty of the universe. You are the beauty of the universe. You are the love of God. The expression of God's love. That is you. I have no idea what time it is. Hello, I am back. Hi. How's everyone doing? Well, I'm going to look at the notes that I okay, there was one note that I have that is jumping out to me on my pad, and it was actually from gnomes, which we had some Devic spirits who were a part of that nature elemental portion, and in particular gnomes of the planet Earth. This is the overseers of the element of Earth. And they ask us to be wild. They ask us to be not the child who went to school every single day and sat in the metal box with the air conditioning, as it was described by Michael, but to be wild in a way that is free. We're all seeking freedom, and that opportunity is within you. It is within you at all times. The freedom that you feel as it is connected with love. That is the offering. That is the request from the gnomes and from the earth spirits. All of your, own your thoughts, own your feelings, own your actions as they emit, as you become aware of them, own them rather than moving away from them, and allow them to be feedback. Allow them to be a representation, a signpost of how you can tend to that garden. Kurt, do we have a call? Okay, great. Yeah, let's see what's going on with the caller. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Who's this?
My name's Karen.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. I heard your connection with Michael. It was fabulous about the garden.
Yes.
Loved every bit of it. Thank you so much for that inspiring lecture talk.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Do you have a question or anything you would like to contribute?
I've been trying to find a job for the last 10 years that I love. I have a job now part-time. I was corporate for many years, lost that corporate job, laid off. I have a part-time job. I'm very good at what I do. It's a very draining, negative job. It's very emotional. People every day are losing their jobs, don't have any income. I need to find a job where I can be a positive, in a positive environment like I used to have. I'm getting burned out. I need some advice.
And so when we are running away from something, as you know, the job is negative and people are unhappy, we are less empowered than when we are bringing in from that essence of God's will, when we are feeling into our own desire. As you say, that's beautiful, to be a positive influence. So feel more deeply into that positive influence. When you wake up in the morning, when you have the opportunity to feel anything that you want a little bit more easily, rather than thinking of the things that you want to avoid, whether it's, well, this is a part-time job, so today I have to go into the negative place, and so I have to shore myself up with resistance or armor so that I don't get hurt too badly, or this is a day off, and so this is a day that I'm not bringing in the income. These are things that we're avoiding. There's a lot of negating and resisting. Spend, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, to be in that pure potential energy of the glorious, beautiful energy that is Karen, the name that we call Karen, which is such a lovely name. Be in that energy. That is the seed that will grow. That is what to nurture. And so I encourage you to I'm feeling that it would be good if you even started with some kind of volunteer experience, whether it's something you just do online or connecting with a community of other people that will help to foster a vibration, help to nurture your soil. Or if you could find, whether in person or online, a way to more regularly, even daily, connect with other like-hearted, like-minded, even those who would help you to go raise your vibration a little bit more. Those who have the nurturing, the nourishing kind of vibration that they are expressing. You see, and so
I understand.
Does that you understand?
It would balance out my negative with my positive.
Yes. Well, even more, it will as the message was saying, it will tend to that garden, because right now your garden, your vibration is getting, it's getting smaller and it's getting dried out, and you have just, it feels like you have a little bit of moss in the center, which is lovely, and you have this gorgeous little flower, but it feels so small. And so we want to allow it to expand. And so surround yourself, because we've come here on this, in this expression of people and animals, and maybe it is animals, and maybe it's trees, and maybe it's nature, and it's a combination of all of these things. These things will feed that essence, that soul, and allow it to become more robust, and it'll grow a little more robust, and grow a little more. I'm telling you, we are confused by a matrix saying that we don't have enough time for things. And that's simply not true, because the experience of love is timeless. So if you give yourself permission to take time in the morning to nurture that feeling, and then time somehow else in the day to experience others who have the same kind of desire, to the feeling, the knowing that I am here as an expression of love, and I feel that, and I want to be a blessing. I want to be blessed so I could be a blessing. That's my purpose. And if you could spend time with others who feel that way as well, then you guys will expand one another, where two or more are gathered in his name, which is how it's said in the Bible, which is just a construct, but it is a beautiful thing where two or more are gathered in the name of love, in the name of light. It grows exponentially. And so I can feel you wanting that nourishment. You see, your garden wants some nourishment. So start there, because that's how you're going. Yeah, that's how you're going to grow into the thing rather than running away. And from that state, from being able to expand that vibration, that feeling state, even today, that's how. What is easier for you to be able to feel a way for another temporary job, or to come into to give you a little bit more abundance? What's easier, to find that today, feeling awful or feeling wonderful and blissed out? Which way will help you to align? Yeah. So feel that way no matter what. But what's the magic is that then all of the steps start to unfold for you. And so this is the offering to you. And Michael, as you connect with Michael, says, as you do this and you just give yourself permission to, and just love and nurture yourself that way first, it will show up really quickly for you.
I understand. I appreciate your help, and I will do that. And go in that direction now. I appreciate your advice.
Do it just because it feels good.
Good to talk to you.
Just because it feels good. That's the best thing you could do.
Yes, I understand.
Good. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Michael, too. I appreciate it. Take care.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we've all maybe heard a story about Jim Carrey writing himself a $10 million check. And then he cashed it 2 years later. And if you haven't, you could look it up. It's really interesting. When he was not a famous actor, comedian, and he wrote himself a $10 million check. I actually just heard this yesterday in a class that I took with a man named Joe Tabanella, who's a hypnotherapist, and he's amazing. And I mean, I've heard that story before of Jim Carrey writing himself the $10 million check, and then he would also, I think, drive through Mulholland and just imagine that he lived there. Or I think he maybe would get take a fancy car on a test drive, something like that. Those kinds of things, those typical vision board, law of attraction type of things. But the thing is, as Joe said yesterday, the part of the story that is left out is that Jim said he did that because it felt good. He wrote himself the check because it felt good. And he drove through the neighborhood imagining that he lived there because it was fun and it felt good. Not in the way that was resistant and, oh my gosh, if I only lived here, it would solve all of my problems. There's a difference. There's a distinction there. He did it. The most important part of the story of Jim Carrey cashing his own $10 million check 2 years after he wrote it, when he was, a silly looking, comedian, and then, becoming that A-list actor. The most important part is that he tended to his garden. He did it because it felt good, because his vibration was aligned with it. He used that those were just tools. It's all just tools. And so he used it as a tool to feel good. And then they actually happened to come out in those particular details. That's a weird kind of magic that happens, that the actual specificity that you used as a tool just for the reason to allow you the opportunity to give yourself permission to feel good and to feel in alignment with those things, The things are just, those aren't the actual vibration. Those aren't the actual important things. But then by the time you actually are fully in that consciousness, you've brought in that consciousness, you're being the energy that you want to experience. That's the end of it. And then the details actually show up in that way. When it actually shows up that way, it's not even a surprise. When Jim Carrey cashed that $10 million check, he probably just thought like, isn't that interesting? And, had some celebration, but it didn't like make his head explode because all of the journey was leading to it. He already felt it. So it wasn't a surprise. The only way that he could actually receive it is that he already received it. I mean, receive it in the fact that it was a literal check that he could cash is because he received it. He experienced it vibrationally. And so this is how we create rather than thinking of running away from something. Even sometimes as a teacher, in mysticism. So, I like to teach mysticism as an art form. And a part of the mysticism is maybe talking about archangels and the names that they use. That's actually housed in a kind of old Hebrew mysticism. Do you guys hear how I'm not nearly as articulate when I'm speaking as myself? I can feel it. I try to. Anyway, so I asked Gabriel to actually step in a little bit so I get a little bit more fluid. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh, Kurt, what was I saying? I totally lost it when I started to criticize myself. Isn't that interesting? Do you remember?
I don't, but like...
He's like, I'm engineering over here. Yeah, I don't know what the heck's happening.
But it's funny that the negativity made you block everything out.
It created some static, so I'm grateful for that. See, that's feedback. That's okay. I guess that was the purpose, and it's the reason that I created it. Even when you do something that is a misstep, you can see it as feedback, and you can allow the static to inform you as to how you can continue to move more fluidly in your own frequency, in your own vibration. And so as you call into your experience those things that will serve you just for the point of feeling good, that is going to actually create the momentum that is in the creative process rather than the running away process. See, when we're running away from things, then we're actually activating the things that we're running away from, because that is the literal frequency. The energy is very literal. The universe is very literal. And so what's great about that is that when you just feel something genuinely, literally, the universe doesn't know the difference between you having it physically or not. It's the energy that is the only thing that's important, the feeling, the vibration. So your feeling state, again, is the most important thing. Let nothing pollute your feeling state intentionally. It happens sometimes. That's growing, that's learning. Things come in and then you learn how to remove them, and that makes you stronger. And so allow yourself to feel your way toward the creative process. That's your calling. That is you connecting with your intuition. And as you create something and then it gets a little shaky maybe, then know that that's just an offering for you to continue to grow and learn more about it, to handle the pieces of it. And also, when you create something and you're ready for it to dematerialize entirely, you are welcome to do that. As powerfully as you can create is how powerfully you can uncreate. And so that affords you freedom to continue to move through your life experience with so much empowerment, with so much embodiment of that God essence. I'm just seeing if there is anything else to bring forward. Okay, thank you. I hear it. And so I'm being drawn to the third eye, the cerebral cortex and the crown and the pineal gland and all of the areas that are seated in the actual physical head and also in the non-physical experience of that expression of higher mind. And in this moment, we are being offered an activation. This is coming from the archangel known as Uriel, activating that cerebral cortex in the physical experience of the body, of the brain, allowing the emotions to flood through in a positive way, the emotions that are chemicals that allow the wiring of the neuroplastic expressions inside the brain, which is just a mapping of the energy that we have been running. We allow this activation to come through. And as you say, open the third eye, open the crown. Yes, this is happening. These organizational systems of that energy receiver and expressor of the crown and the third eye, yes, these are being opened for you so that you can recognize the story and create it, so that you can recognize wisdom and live from it. And so we ask you to always move in wisdom. You have it. Your soul is as old as the universe because you are not separate from it. And so we offer this skill, talent, and wisdom. Nurturing these three aspects will result in what humans think of as success, what humans think of as intelligence, what humans think of as manifestation. Skill, talent, wisdom. You have these. You have talent inside of you. That is your pure potential. How do you know what your talent is? You love it. It feels good. It excites you. How do you know what your skills are? You look at them. You nurture them. This is a part of growing your frequency. What is wisdom? You feel it. You know it as a peace, as clarity. Channel in peace and clarity. Channel in wisdom, and it will find you. And these things will hold you together, like the universe is held together by the nothing that holds everything together. That nothing is the energy of you, the energy of the entire experience of light, the experience of the only thing that is, which is love, which is unconditional, expressing into condition so it can know itself. And so at this time, you are offered an activation of the higher mind. From that higher aspect, from that soul star chakra, alchemizing, bringing in more of your own soul light. If you would like to welcome in more of your own soul light, then say, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And allowing that to drop down into the wisdom and the higher knowing and the higher expressing, and allowing that to drop down into the higher vision and the execution of the beauty of the part of your story, of the line of the song that you sing in the universe, the one song. Seeing, feeling, knowing. And this is offered to you. And with this, we seal this work with the affirmation of I am that I am, aligning you to the energy of Source, feeling the pure peace, the pure clarity, embodying and empowering. Embodiment is a beautiful thing. Allowing the soul light, allowing the expression of source energy to create physical events, physical bodies, physical expression. And that physical expression is inclusive of thought because it is more formed than non-thought. And so this is offered to you, and this work is sealed in love and in light. Amen. And go forth in this new empowerment. Okay, so we are just about out of time, it looks like, and so that was Uriel. That's awesome. Oh, I just am being reminded Uriel oversees the element of earth, which is a theme for this, coming with the having had a message from the earth elemental overseers, the Devic realm of the gnomes. Okay, well, thank you all for holding this space with me, and I want to tell you that I hold space with you continually. You are all in my heart and in my prayers as I pray over this work that I am offering to the universe, and I pray for each and every one of you that would connect with it. And so I thank you so much for connecting with it, and many of you share it with others, and I thank you for that, and I endeavor to be a blessing. And as such, I receive blessing, and I send my love out to you today and at all time that this may be touching you, and without limitation, unconditionally, I send love from the source of pure love through my vessel to you. And so thank you so much for being here, and I will invite you to continue to come back to this program, which I call Charmed Life, because I believe that is what we are called to do, to live a life of absolute charm being magic, being free, flowing, abundant, just creativity. I believe that is our calling, and that is how we may live in every moment when we choose to by our feeling state. And so I invite you back. I invite you to share this, and so that we may all continue to collect our light together and allow momentum to carry us through this beautiful experience of creating the one song, the universe. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.